What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or all these badass cars we seem to like to drive, this is your All-Terrain Nation, presented by Kelly in bed. Not feeling well, we'll say that. Producer Kelly is she's taking the night off because what do we have coming up, Mark and Jess? Anybody? Did I lose sound?
Sorry,
Allie?
we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah. We had doubled up sound. We're like, why do we have double sound? We're like, oh wait, because we have the stream open and the YouTube open, and we're double hearing everything.
We're new.
B team is in the house, slowly going to C team.
Yeah, seriously. Studio B minus.
That's right. But what do we have coming up, guys? This week we are into this week. We're all traveling.
SEMA coming up next week.
Vegas, baby.
You guys are traveling. I'm home.
Well, Allie, I'm sure there's a helicopter just waiting to take you somewhere. Yeah, we have SEMA coming up this coming week, and if you guys see anything out there, because I know Nissan will drop, they've already dropped some stuff. Other brands will start dropping when they're doing something. Be sure to hit us up on Instagram. Obviously, Mark and Jess, you can hit them up at Unbridled Bronco. Normally we have the names under there, but for some reason, new studio, new problems. But yeah, hit us up, All Terrain Nation Media on Instagram or All Terrain Nation Media at gmail.com. You can hit us there. If there's something that you guys see and you're like, holy cow, I got to know more about that, let us know, because we're going to be 4 people out there. So 2 groups, and I'm sure we'll hang out some, but the idea is to bring you guys the most coverage possible. So that's what's going to be. We're going to be in Vegas, and I'm at the right point in my year that I need just a little bit of Vegas time. And I don't like Vegas, but I'm just ready for that. Let's get out of here for a minute. The weather's changing. I get that seasonal depression a little bit when it gets a little chilly out. So let's go to where I've looked at the forecast. It's actually going to be chillier than it is here. I'm like, what the hell, man? Can we not get away from the cool weather? But I'm pumped about it. Of course, Mark and Jess, we've talked before. You guys have. Mark's never been to Vegas, which I find hard to believe. A beard like that, you would think's been to Vegas, but no.
Yeah, it'd be homeless in Vegas.
but we've talked about it. I'm assuming the excitement's building for you two, especially. Mark going to Vegas, which is going to trip you out when you get off the airplane. You're going to be, holy shit! You're going to trip over casinos like as soon as you get off the plane. But
at the airport.
Yeah, it's going to smell like a smoky bar, and you're like, "Is this an airport or is this what's going on?" But anything you guys have heard about that's kind of coming up that you're excited about?
Just came across something today. Ranger parts. We've talked about it before. This is pretty much the year of mid-sized trucks and stuff like that. Having just picked up the 2024 Ranger that I got. Interested to see what they're bringing mid-sized truck wise for the Ranger. I said originally I wasn't going to mod it, and then I'll see something at SEMA that I have to have. So, you're lucky. You
put 35s under this thing, guys.
I did.
I started that,
but to your credit, the Ranger hub fits the Bronco wheels perfectly. So I took the Sasquatch wheels from my Wild Track that I kept after I changed them out, and I put them underneath the Ranger the other day. Back tires clear perfectly. Front tires, I get 3/4, maybe a full turn of the wheel before I start rubbing. So if I drop the 34 7/4 or whatever size tires that comes on it, because they're not true 35s, and drop down to a 33, I think I'll be able to clear it. But I do like the look, the black gloss with the beadlock capable ring. I have carbonized gray. the front grille is gloss black, the side mirrors are gloss black, and I think that black really ties it together. So I'll probably still swap it out for the rims. I'll just drop to a 33 as opposed to a 35, and I should be able to clear it just fine.
Yeah, no, I think those wheels are going to look badass on there. And Hypermotive Racing coming in strong. We appreciate that. Smash that like button. Yes. Once again, smash that like button. Believe it or not, that does a lot for the channel and the live streams because I want to bring more people in here. That's kind of why we're going to talk a little bit more than Allie's beloved Ford. We're gonna educate Allie on some other brands. We'll say that. Probably not, but yeah, Ford, I mean, there's been some Ford in the news. We have 25s or news of 25s for Ranger's going to get a black appearance package too, which was kind of neat. But yeah, to Mark's point, these wheels, the normal Sasquatch wheels, we were at Mark and Jess's house a month or so ago, and I've been trying to get these wheels off Mark anyways, but I was like, oh, I know. Well, yeah, you live with him, so you have dibs. But I before you knew Mark, Jess, I've been trying to get these wheels off. But I told Mark, I was like, man, those wheels, I bet those wheels would look really good on the Ranger. And yeah, when you sent me a picture of that, I was like, yeah, that Ford, what are you doing? I'm always amazed at manufacturers. Nissan used to have some wheels that were exclusive for the Frontier, but you could put them, we would buy them because people would just take off, they're just takeoffs, and especially Nissan. Nobody wanted their parts after the fact.
Right.
But it's like Xterra guys would grab these wheels and it just changed the look of the vehicle. And you're like, why did somebody in manufacturing never or in production go, oh man, we don't have to add more expensive wheels. We have wheels right here that look great. I'm always amazed at that sometimes that I think the pin and pictures are just like, nope.
And I think the Everglades wheels would look great on it because the Everglades wheels are carbonized gray. So having those and that design underneath the carbonized gray truck, I think that would look really well as well. I'm just going to not spending the extra money to buy the Everglades wheels.
Team Everglades wheels.
They look great. I love them. I think they look great. I love the carbonized gray.
I wish I would have known. I had mine for sale.
Damn it, woman.
Sorry. I wish I would have known.
So Allie, you're going to stick with the Sasquatch wheels you have then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're slightly different, but not that drastically different, right?
It's not too much different. I definitely sit up higher and I can tell. But
yeah. But the wheels themselves, it's a four spoke wheel, I think what just like the Everglades was, and
it's the same Everglades wheel that I had on Bucky.
Yeah. Nice. And speaking of Everglades, I'm seeing a massive amount of reviews for the Everglades coming out, which trips me out because Ford's already announced they've killed this thing. They haven't pulled the Everglades from the press fleet just yet. And I didn't have the heart to tell one of my press buddies he basically does written press, that he posted on his personal Facebook page. He was all excited. He was like, man, this is how every Bronco should come. And I was just like,
it's done.
Ooh, sorry about that. Enjoy it while you can, I guess.
Rest in peace, Everglades.
Yeah, but I'm torn. And I said last week, I think the
Wait, was it Tim?
No, you don't know this guy. But I think the snorkel is easily done after market. And other than that, I don't think there was really that much special. The wheels obviously were special, but past that, it was all parts you could buy anyways. So
yeah.
So cheers to the death of the Everglades. The billboard lives on in everybody's hearts. And
now you just gotta get the one from IAG and catch your Bronco.
Mark, we have like similar cups tonight.
Yeah, little Yeti tumblers.
Yeah, super size my whiskey. And if you're wondering, tonight is brought to you by an Elijah Craig. So,
good choice. Good choice.
We're pinkies up just a little bit. That's right. We're not just Jack Daniels. We're pinkies up with Elijah Craig. So Allie, how order banks opened up just yet for Bronco?
Some of it's open. Still can't order a strap.
The what is?
I said order banks are open, but like there's certain things open. You just can't order like strap yet.
Yeah, which I'm seeing all over the news. Everybody's seeing. I'm Debbie Downer on that thing. We've documented that, but
yes.
I see a lot of people really, really excited by that thing. So, and now their pictures are coming out of where they're just testing them now out in the open.
Mhm.
Uh,
The
the
one
one
thing I
thing,
really like is that a lot of 6-geners are actually like looking up the history and like actually understanding like where this car is coming from now, which is like I think is the cool part.
right?
But I'm a nerd like that,
Yeah.
so
The one thing I would suggest that Ford do, and I don't know if it's a graphic, a vinyl graphic, is the Bronco or whatever they put on the side just looks so out of place. You could do away with that, and I think it would look great. I mean, the color combinations, to me, where they even with the placement where they put it is like Raptor, our Bronco Raptor. The Raptor's tiny. It looks in the weirdest spot. It doesn't flow with the body lines. I would like to see it moved up just a little bit, and really the Bronco on the side. I mean, I think people know by now what that is.
yeah.
I don't think Ford needed to announce it to everybody, but I do like the logo on the side. I think that's really cool.
Well, I think so. It's funny that like some people are all mad that like the original like Bronco badge that they had on the strap like isn't on there.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's because it's not the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's
They had
not
to
the
do
actual.
something a little different, which I like that they did the strap on the side instead. But
Are you saying they didn't have touch screens back in the late '60s or whenever
fucking
that?
wild, man.
I know, man. We've come so far.
Fucking wild.
Let's see. Mr. Long MacArthur himself says he has two customers have ordered for.
Yeah, he corrected it down there. I mean, we can order them, but there's not a price on it. So like I haven't had anyone sign off on a blank price sheet yet.
Any idea what you would assume prices? I mean, it's got to be 60s, right?
I was gonna guess like 65.
Yeah, because the Heritage Limiteds were 72 somewhere in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's everything but, and that's the only way now you can get the 2.7, right?
No.
Oh, that's right. It's only a 4-door. In the 2-door now, you can't get the. I've got some news I'm gonna bring up here. Let's see, where'd my Ford news go? There it is. We'll bring this to the stage. Yeah, it's in Ford Authority here, so you know it's correct. 4-cylinder is the only way to go now with the 2-door in for the Badlands. And I've said it for a while. I think the 2.3 is going to be the only engine option by 27. I really do. I think when they bring in a hybrid version of this, whatever version that is, I think they're going to follow along with what Jeep has done. Jeep, you get the 4-cylinder now, and if you want, we talked a little bit about last week. If you want the V6, it's manual transmission only, which is the goofiest thing about Jeep. But for Ford itself, like it makes sense. Like that truck doesn't need 300 horsepower is probably more than plenty for it. I want the ponies, I can get them, but for 2-door guys, looks like options are starting to be limited. Like, how long does the 2-door last at this point?
I mean,
Wherever it's
everyone who
like
has
washed.
a 2-door, I think everyone who has a 2-door loves their 2-door.
Mhm.
But
But it seemed like last week we talked about it. You've not really sold many, right?
I mean, our dealer sold sold a Heritage Edition 2-door. It's been like less than 10, I think. I haven't sold. No, I didn't sell a Everglades.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't sold a single Everglades one. 2-doors have sold a few of them.
Yeah, which is probably the problem with Everglades in the beginning is nobody's buying them. But let's see here. It talks. Yeah, sorry, push the wrong button. New studio, new problems.
But if you think about like what, for me, just visually seeing what the market's doing and what's happening with Bronco, is everybody that wanted one has one now.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody that's seeing them and learning about them is getting one. And no offense to anybody, but they're becoming more mainstream and popular, which brings, hey, maybe this is a family car, or here's a 4-door. All of us kids that were like, we need this to go wheel and smash into stuff. We got ours.
Yeah.
So I would think, that 4-door is going to be more popular going forward as it becomes just a mainstream vehicle like the Wranglers did. Like, hey, I got a Jeep. Cool. How's the mall? Like, and I think that's going to be the trend. We're seeing it already. You drive by any Ford dealership, and Allie, yours might be the same, but there's Broncos everywhere. And
we have a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Like I said, new studio, new problems here. No, I think if Jeep were to ever kill off their two-door, I think Ford it's going to be either way. Ford has the balls to kill it off, which I'm not advocating for by any means. So two-door people, seriously, Mark, don't come over an hour away to beat my ass. But
Do it,
I mean, the
Mark.
writing's on the wall. Nobody buys coupes anymore. You know, if you look at car markets, they all want four doors, and it's because it's just convenient. You know, your friends want to ride with you. I remember as a kid trying to get in the back of my parents' little coupe. It was a nightmare to get in the back seat. You felt if you were claustrophobic, forget it. You didn't want to be back there. But we're in a four-door world now, and the SUVs, generally the most popular thing is the big four-door SUVs. So I keep thinking about this, and I'm like, probably Bronco goes away before Wrangler, but I don't know. I don't know on that. I keep flip-flopping on that, and I'll say this: the Bronco is so popular here in Middle Tennessee. I went to the Brentwood area, which is, if you're into country music, that's where all the artists stay. It's old money for Tennessee. I mean, I'm talking Civil War age money. Like, that's where the families all grew up. It's a very wealthy community, and I'm seeing Broncos like crazy now. And I don't see as many Jeeps as I used to see on Broncos, which for Jeep people, bummer. You've had your good 50 years or so. It's time to let somebody else have a shot at it. But I mean, Bronco is definitely here to stay, but is the two-door. So,
Well, I think it's the accessibility. I mean, most people buying Broncos either have a family, they're in that group that they've got younger kids. And the two-door, as much as I love mine and it does everything I want it to do, and if it's just me going somewhere, two-door all day.
yeah.
But if I start trying to pack that out for a weekend, if the two of us were to go in my two-door, space is at a premium. Like, and you've seen the back end of mine. I've got the diabolical enclosure and stuff like that to help secure things when the top's off, and the soft top I'm currently running. But it is very limited on space. And you can't really put, unless you delete the back seats, you can't put a fridge in, you can't put all those extras in that people that want to go out for long weekends and do all that kind of adventuring, they're just not going to get it. And I know some great two-doors out there that are set up perfectly, but it's just the driver going out. It's not a group. So
yeah, I think there's an older market for that. There is a probably my age on up where the wife doesn't want to go camping or the husband doesn't want to go camping. So it makes sense that, hey, I enjoy this part of the exploring part of the life. I'm just going to take, that makes sense for that. But ultimately, it also comes down to the fact that we all own vehicles about 3 years and then we move on. And it's not, the days of, I see it even in the Jeep community, a lot of the guys, they have to have the latest tech and all that. So I don't know. I am a little interested in does it last? Obviously I see it in the groups too. The old Bronco guys, they're always like, if it's not a two-door solid axle, blah, 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 it's not a real Bronco. And you're like, well, tell that to the OJ Broncos, because they were independent suspension. Like I say that, I take it back. I think it was independent suspension. Don't hold me to that one, but it's about ride quality now as well. 99% of what we all do, even though I love going off road, is sadly it's on road. And I'll be honest, like, the Bronco compared to the Wrangler rides so much better. And obviously we're very pro Bronco, all three of us here, or all three channels here. But
For one person,
I don't know. And I said it last week. I think eventually Wrangler does go to independent suspension, but this talks about, in this article, it talks just a little bit about how, the true threes, the cat's meow for the two-door, and the 2.7, especially with the wild track, like Mark has the wild track, that leaving the junction, off to greener pastures. That group is, I think it's going to be just that. And if they were to do like a power boost version of this too, and I don't know where you would ever stick the battery in the two-door. I think that's probably part of the two-doors demise in the end too, is we all know hybrids coming for this thing. I'm hoping it's not a plug-in hybrid. I'm hoping it's just more like the power boost hybrid system. But if you got to worry with the two-door, you're already limited space, like you said, Mark, and where do you shove a battery under this thing? And at the end of the day, we're going to be forced to drive that stuff, which leads me into the Scout.
Here we go.
It's a good segue into this. The Scout is interesting to me, and there's a couple different things about this that make it interesting. But I've been tracking this thing for 2 years since they announced it was the rendering sort of got not leaked out, but they were teased out just a little bit, and it had that classic Scout design. Now, sorry, Ford people, Scout was before Bronco, and Bronco really relied a little bit on what Scout was doing and took it and made it their own. But they definitely saw what the International Scout was doing. And it was like, hey, let's lean into this. Jeep doesn't have a roof. Scout found a way to adventure with a roof that at the time still came off, which you talk about people that are pissed off. Scout people that I'm in these forums, they're mad. Why does the top not come off? It's not a real Scout unless the top comes off. And I'm like, you guys know this is an EV, right? Like, that's the least of your worries right now. But Allie, I know you had posted a little. You seem just curious about this thing. What is your impression of this?
I was hoping that there was gonna be a full-on gas version of it, which is why I was interested in it. Just because the size is convenient for me, and if they were gonna still kind of go and compete with Bronco, I'm like, cool, it can do all the off-road things, kind of like they said, the roof will come off. So I'm a little disappointed that it's mainly EV, but we'll see if they change that in the future. The extended range that has the gas generator is a little interesting.
Well, I mean, I think that's for especially this style vehicle. I think you have to have that. Now, I did a reservation on one, and I did not do it with the generator. And the reason I didn't was because I think the generators won't get built till a year later. I really do. I think the first will be the EV, and then they'll slowly, let's get this production rolling, and then let's complicate it by the generator. And two, they've not announced any kind of motor for this generator. And I was watching TFL, Tommy was talking, him and his dad were talking about on their podcast. And there's only one motor that would really in the Volkswagen group that would fit this, and it's a Porsche Boxster engine. It's flat, and that's the only thing I can think of they would put in this.
Well, Volkswagen dealers are throwing a fit that they're doing this only online, like Rivian and Tesla and everything. These dealers are pushing back like crazy, but it's the only thing that's gonna help Volkswagen at this point, I think, is this car. Yeah. Because they're not doing great.
Well, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But what do you like about the Scout, Allie? I mean, obviously you're a Bronco girl, but I love the design of it personally. I think they really nailed it. The lights are a little iffy to me, but I hate
the lights. I absolutely hate them.
They're very polarizing. People either love them or hate them.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the interior. I think it's really nice. The roof is interesting. How it slides back.
Yeah, is it the accordion?
It's a canvas accordion.
It looks like it rolls back.
So it looks cool, but me working at a dealer, all I can think is problems. just like a moonroof, problems. You have draining issues, clogging issues, things like that. So it's it looks cool in concept, but in reality, what is this gonna be like ride driving? Is it noisy? Things like that. Oh, well, looks like it's now our show, guys.
That's our show.
Hey!
Deuces, babe. So
at least let us keep going. Shut us all off.
That new studio is really working out for him.
All right, everybody start commenting of how great that this is. But no, I think it's gonna be interesting. I like the interior. Oh, and he's back.
There he is.
So I think it's interesting. I do like the touchscreen. I think the light is kind of cool on the inside.
Oh yeah, the mood lighting.
Yeah. So that was neat. So I love their concept.
Sorry, I had to plug in my hard drive. I'm trying to bring some of these photos up so we can talk about it. I forgot to plug in my hard drive.
When I first saw the images of it, and I haven't followed anything with Scout besides that they were hiring for someone in like what I do in real life a couple months ago. I was like, oh shit. Anyway, I missed that boat. But when I saw the pictures a couple of days ago, a week or so ago, when it all started coming out, it reminded me initially of, I don't know, I think everybody that ordered a Bronco got those like kind of blueprint rendering pictures. Ours is actually sitting in the corner. And like the initial, the grill and the lights immediately was like, oh, it looks exactly like what that Bronco prototype photo that we got. And I've said it before, I'm a Ford girl through and through. And I saw this car and I was like, what's that? How do I get one? But then I heard it was all electric and I was like, I'm not ready for that. I live too far in the sticks to have anything that I have to plug in.
Well, and that's the thing. I think it's crazy. So I just actually had that conversation with somebody because they have a Bronco right now. Maya would also like to say hello to everybody. But I have a customer who wants to trade in their Bronco. Well, they don't want to, just financially, it just makes more sense. To get a Lightning because they're driving from Michigan all the way to St. Ignace right now. So they're spending like $800 to $900 a month in extra gas alone.
Wait, how often? They're coming from where in Michigan to St. Ignace?
Brighton to St. Ignace.
Oh,
so it's like about 4
once a week. Yeah,
every single week.
No.
So they go up Thursday, come back Sunday. The Lightning will make it up there. But the husband, like they first said the same thing, like it's in the middle of nowhere. There's not chargers. There's actually a lot more charging stations even up in the UP than people realize. Because a lot of them are opting in for like, even though it's a slower charger, like plugging it in at like the back of the gas stations. So like sometimes they're there, you just may not know it.
Yeah, I mean, we always park our Broncos next to the chargers at Buc-ee's. So.
So I think it's funny because like we just did our chargers like for our work and like we have the lines painted green for EV and so many people park there and they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't see the lines or we didn't see the chargers. I'm like, it's a freaking pole sticking out of the ground. Like, how do you not see it? I'm like,
right.
I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, y'all do you.
Yeah. So I brought the picture, the interior up just a little bit. Now, remember, these are concept vehicles. These are not full production, but if they come anywhere close to this is, I think something like this changes the game for interior, especially the price. You know, mid 60s is where I think you'll get. That's what they're hoping for. 60, mid 60s will probably get you an okay, decent one. And then you get the tax credits. It being a new company, they get a lot of tax credits. So that's really cool too.
You do, but it also has to be under a certain MSRP.
Okay.
So there's that plays into that.
Right,
but
just
because
base,
it is built in the US, it's already at least qualified for like half of it. But that's why Mach-E doesn't qualify for a lot of the tax stuff now.
Now, of course, that varies from state to state a little bit too. I know, but I'm sure they're all similar.
You have to check with your local.
But you can see the light in the background here that Allie was talking about, kind of that mood lighting. This definitely speaks Rivian. These fonts are if you've ever been in a Rivian, it's very Rivian. I do love how they've taken that old school speedometer and how you can see the line for it. So it's going to kind of do that old school like they would have in the 60s. That's kind of neat about it.
Yeah, my 78 LTD had a speedometer like that. It went all the way across the dashboard, all 16 feet of dashboard.
I do like that they also have knobs.
Yes. Let me go back to that.
And
it looks to be nice tactical buttons.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like so retro and so forward at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to click all the buttons, like push button radios and all that stuff.
Yeah, this looks interesting to me. This actually looks like a strap that you can unbungee and take off if you like need bigger items to kind of fit in the pocket where you could kind of pull it over so they don't bounce around. I love the plaid look to everything, how they've incorporated that a little bit. Like I said, even on the side here, which probably doesn't, none of this, this nice styling under the seats probably never makes it to production. The Scout branding looks nice. They
The thing
did,
is, if it does, they're gonna kill it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. These seats to me are kind of what sold me on this thing. So I did that video, and I knew it was coming, and we had to go pick up Sydney. Me and Kelly went, and I was like, oh shit, it's 4:00 right when they're going to launch this thing. And I did everything in my power to get invited to this because they launched this thing 20 minutes from my house, which was a really bummer.
I was gonna ask you why you didn't go. So that
Because I've got a rant coming about influencers down the road, but because they invited a shit ton of influencers who have already moved on past this vehicle, and a handful of journalists, and even some of the journalists, you're like, that's a head scratcher why they invited these. I think new brand, new problems. Volkswagen Group are like, we got these people on our list, just make them work. But yeah, trust me, to the last minute, I was talking to them Friday, or when was this launch? Last Wednesday or Thursday. I was up to the hour talking to them, and they were just like, David, we've just run out of room. So I respect it. I'm going to do everything I can though to be a part of the press drives. And I think this is speculation. I think where they did the launch, they're going to do their own little off-roadios with these. That's a very custom building they built there that you see. I don't know if it's just a rental building or what, for media presentations, but it looks like something. There's off-road trails around it that they were taking the journalists on. Some of my friends got to go in old Scouts riding around, which is cool. But back to these seats to me, I'm doing the video. So we get home, I watched Kelly's showing me pictures as I'm driving back. I had everything in my body said this was going to be a boring EV, that it's just going to be under some boring Volkswagen platform that's just blah. I mean, I like the Rivian, but at no point am I ever taking any of the Rivian products to real off-roading, because it's just, I don't think it's capable enough.
I'm not gonna lie, there's been a handful at Hollyoaks that have handled really well.
Right. But so I'm watching this video. I kind of was trying to fast forward through the video, the presentation, and get my thoughts together on it. And the more I'm watching this, I'm like, holy shit, I'm recording this video. I kind of like this thing. And I'm literally in the start of the video, I'm kind of like, hey, I don't know, this is going to be kind of and by the end of the video, I'm literally, as I record it, kind of falling in love with this silly thing of like, well, shit, real axles, which is nice. That's unheard of for EV. They don't put because they're heavy and they're just less efficient, to be honest. But you're getting real axles, real lockers, which once again, it's not some boring, you're tricking the motor to act like a locker. It's real lockers. Body on frame, once again, does limit battery size. But then, you look at the generator version they're trying to do, which they're not the first. Ram has been pushing on this button for a long time. Esterthal that told me for a while, he goes, Ram's got this coming where they're going to do a generator. And I was like, well, that's cool.
Let's see how much longer Ram and Jeep are alive.
Well, that's all these companies. But as far as I think they hit a home run with this thing. I think the presentation was good. I love the fact that it's being built in America, that this could have been easily outsourced to Mexico or somewhere. They know they've spent $2 billion just on the plant. They're going to spend another couple billion on just development. Then it's several billion to get all this infrastructure up and running. So at minimum, they're probably 10 billion into this thing. They can't target $10 billion and instantly take the old Scout crowd and just basically give them the finger. Just like, no, we're doing this, but we just own your name. We're just going to slut this out to Mexico. We're going to do what we want with it. They were really smart about how they played into the American thing. Obviously Volkswagen Group is a German brand. We're going to bring it up in a minute. The struggles they're having right now, they're very committed to this. They have broke ground on the plant. They're moving dirt around. I think they've already started hanging steel in the building. So definitely they allowed. And if you noticed, everybody at the presentation spoke English, which this sounds weird. There was no accents, no nothing. Brands like Nissan always fuck this up because they always have, either when it was Ghosn, who was, kind of a Lebanese French guy who spoke not horrible English, but just so broken that when they were trying to sell a Titan to the good old boys, it did not ever come off properly. But they had a guy who spoke it. They definitely leaned into the guy that helped design the last Scout 2s. His daughter was at this presentation. Like they did a very good job, in my opinion, of leaning into what made the Scout a Scout. But overall, like I said, these seats, man. Oh my God, the seats won me over. Allie, I'm with you though. As far as those lights, I'm kind of like I don't know that I like those lights that well.
No, not a fan. What about you guys? Do you guys like it?
I think they missed the mark without the round. I think, like Bronco, they threw that nod to the original round lights in the front.
Agreed.
And I know the Sky went with that bar. It's electric. It's all LED. It's a much simpler design, easier to do, tying all that in. But I just think it's a miss. And then they threw the light up Scout badge beside it. So, I mean,
where are you at with that? Because I kind of like it. Now I'm also at this. I'm the same guy that bitched about my Mustang having this stupid thing when you open the door. Of like, I'm the same guy
love
that bitched
that.
about that.
I like the light up Scout on the front. I think it's different. It kind of calls it out as if the Scout itself won't be in a head turner. But I liked it. I thought that was a smart design move. Does it go forward in production with it? Is that an addition? Do you get a normal Scout badge or an upcharge for the light up Scout badge?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure
so-
that's a marketing of like, oh, if you buy whatever, there'll be they call this a Traveler. There's going to be a Traveler whatever legacy edition or something. Yeah, they're going to play into. Oh yeah, you can get this with that. Much like Badlands and all that. Like I said, the front lights, I think they needed to be a little futuristic, point to the future a little bit with it because it is an EV. So you've got the ultimate design, which is the old school design, which I said in my video for this thing. I pissed some old people off because I was like, basically the only people who are going to remember a Scout are 70-year-old people on up that really remember that brand. I remember as a kid seeing them running around town, but obviously by 81s, I think when they shut down, I didn't give two damns about Scout. I was a Bronco kid. Like I had the little Sunset Bronco as a kid. And that was my little toy of choice to play with. But I think they also need to lean into the young generation that wants some futuristic looking, something. We all want to feel tough in our vehicles. We want them. They reflect who I want to be. And I think they did a pretty good job with this. Now the lights, I definitely think those lights are, they're not ready for prime time.
They look like the Hyundai, they look like the new Hyundai H lights on the front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean those things are atrocious coming at you. They look terrible.
Drive me crazy.
Yeah. The back of this thing, does all this make it to prime time? I don't know. I don't know if this tire carrier, that doesn't seem strong enough to me, depending on how they mount these brackets into the body. I do love the old school flip down tailgate that they have. I think that's a nice touch. Obviously, this is power assisted. All that is, so it's they all the people that want all the luxury parts, you're going to have power assisted there. A nice little touch. They knew the Molly panels. Okay, we got to have some of that. That's what some adventurers want. I don't know exactly how that works when you shut the tailgate. How much room do you really have to mount anything there? But it looks cool. That and these have 35-inch tires. And our friends over at TFL mentioned that when Tommy got to interview them, he was like, they said, hey, it's 33s are going to be what's probably standard, but they do anticipate a 35-inch package. Bronco set the tone for that. They forced Jeep to jump into 35s with their Recon package. Now, obviously, EV once again, 350 miles range projected on this thing, fully EV. You put a 35 under it, I don't see that happening at all. I think you have to have a smaller tire for those kind of numbers. But if you have the generator version on this and you realistically get 425 or so, that's pretty freaking rad, man. Don't everybody?
I agree, but I mean, how much space are you losing?
Sorry, I'm looking at other pictures too.
Do what, Mark?
I said, the range extender is great, but how much space are you losing putting that in?
What did you see? Did you see?
Well, yeah, the frunk is huge.
No, but did you see? Let me pull this up real quick. I want to show you guys. They dropped a video 2 days ago, I think, on this. So let's bring it up because they're mounting the motor in the rear of this thing. Which is pretty smart. You know, everybody likes that frunk. You still get with especially the SUV, you're still getting, you know, the full capability of the sorry, I'm trying to do 4 things at once. So you're still going to get all the storage of an SUV, and then you don't want to lose the frunk, because I think that's pissing a lot of people off in the newer EVs of where they all are. Where did the front go? Because they're shoving so much tech up front there. So I think people definitely are not going to kind of give up on it, and I think that's why they kind of had to do this. But let me see here. I need my producer Kelly here. It's easier to lead conversations. Let's see. All right, there it is. Once again, I'm going to mute this because of copyright, but they definitely, you'll see it in just a second if I were actually to play the video, right? And then what's it doing? So let's see here. This is the Harvester version, which I thought was a great nod to where their heritage came from.
Mm-hmm.
Calling it Harvester, that was a really cool choice. And right there. So, dang it, stupid technology. I'm trying to bring this up. Once again, I'm trying to do 5 different things here at once. Let me play it just. I think there's a better. There it is. All right. So there. Damn it.
It'll come back. There it is.
There you go. All right. So you can see in the back of the red there. That's where their generator is going to be. So that's the motor, and you don't have a ton of room there. Now, a couple of things you're going to have to work through is if that motor's on, how do you keep it cooled for one? How do you keep your stuff in the back in the hatch of this thing from melting? So it's got to be a tiny engine. I mean, it's, you know, Ram is trying to put their 3.6 Pentastar engine as their generator for the big truck. There is no way you're putting a 3.6 in the back of this thing. But that's what Scout says they're doing. And I don't think they've completely worked all this through yet. I think Scout was very wise to when the EV sales started, like, you know, after COVID's endings, EV sales are really tanking. I think they were in a perfect position to go, oh, we can pivot just a little bit. Oh, people still want to use some gasoline to make sure they get where they want to go. And Scout is claiming that if you're run out of electricity on the trails, this will charge the batteries up enough to get you off the trail. So
that was my big question. It's like, if you're really going to go out and wheel this, and it's rare in a day that a whole lot of us are going to, you know, run 350 miles. But I mean, I've driven across states and back and wheeled all in one day.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're out in the middle of the woods, like, there's no place to plug in anything.
I mean, obviously you plug it into your nearest tree. Come on, Jeff.
Well, Windrock does have, you know, Jeep is putting it at trailheads. They are putting chargers into this thing.
They do have one at like the entrance of Windrock.
Yeah, so this will use the North American standard for charging, which is the Tesla chargers. So I know Jeep and them installed all these new chargers with the old version of charging, so they're going to have to adapt to that. But I mean, I think I'm seeing it more and more. What Hollyoaks, I think, has a Jeep charger, if I remember right. Windrock, I know, does, and Moab has a couple of them. You know, now you get a dozen of these things out on the trail. How many people are fighting over chargers? Jess, it would be like us fighting over air when we were at the dunes. You know, there's a dozen air nozzles there to get air, but yet there's some asshole that takes up 4 spots because he's not courteous enough to park directly into them.
Oh my God. We need to
bring your own
talk
air.
about like common courtesy when it comes to airing up tires. There was one guy at Silver Lake that literally parked in the middle of 2 and was using 2 air compressors at once to do like 2 of his tires. And I'm just like, no.
If there's
I'm like
nobody there, who cares?
Busiest
you know?
weekend.
No, there was a huge line like out to the road that like wrapped around. I'm like, you jackwagon.
That's just as good as people that fill up their gas tanks and then stay parked at the pump to go into the store. It drives me crazy. Don't do that.
Well, diesel guy always bitches when there's 2 diesel pumps and some guy's pumping gas there, which always strikes me as funny. If they were just diesel pumps, I could understand their frustrations, but if they're a gas pump too, I'm like, what is this guy supposed to do? Just not pump gas? Sorry, Mark. I think you were a diesel guy one
They
time.
promoted.
Once.
Sorry, fresh wounds. But back to this thing. So, charging once again. Tommy was talking with TFL was talking. What little PR for one, PR there doesn't know anything. They're giving their little Bible for the weekend, and here's what we talk about, and that's it. But he had a good point. The dad was talking about the Porsche engine is the only flat engine they really have that would fit there. And good luck buying parts then when this thing breaks. But they do claim 80% of this vehicle you can work in your driveway, that you can repair it that way.
But
So
if there's not an engine, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you have an electronics master degree, maybe, but
Put sweet stickers on it.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm getting called 14 different voice.
Oh.
But so, and I forget what you guys were reviewing the other day that had the extender. It was a hybrid, and there's that huge 4-inch hump in the back for the battery.
Mm-hmm.
How much the back?
That was the Land Cruiser.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the addition of the battery pack back there. If you're popping even as flat as the Boxer engine is, you're still going to have to lift that up, airspace, the whole thing, like you said, for cooling. How much back end room are you losing to house that range extender? And, you've got space for days up front, but, it's going to cut down on anything in the back, any additional kind of add in there.
How much more weight is it?
Weight, heat shielding, noise. I mean, I don't want to listen to a Volkswagen bug engine, rattling around in the
Hey man, the Volkswagen people should be happy though. They should be happy, the old school bug guys, because the engine's in the rear again.
Yeah, right? I mean,
finally, we're back, full circle here. I think there's a lot to question what they're going to do, but at the same time, I'm happy that it's not just a boring EV, that they are giving us something to look at. And I want to bring this up as when we'll finish up on this, the truck version, the Terra. Now Nissan has to be over there kicking the Terra was a name they used years ago, but Nissan had the Xterra, and in other markets they just call it the Terra because the name Xterra was a licensed name from a race. It was one of the like an Ironman race. So they licensed that name. And so, Nissan's got to be going over there. Hey, dude, no, what? I guarantee you there's a small lawsuit about this because Nissan is working a way to get the Xterra back in. But the truck is definitely leans into that Rivian a little bit, maybe too much. Now, they will say this truck was designed, the Rivian partnership is only a month or two old, but these are carbon fiber prototypes. They are not metal. This is all carbon fiber to these things. And so they were able to sculpt something very quickly. I guarantee you under these somehow is a lot of Rivian. But the truck, I thought the truck looks good. Now, if you see those lights, especially in this picture, it reminds me of the Nissan or the Datsun Hardbody or the Datsun 720. Something about it just reminds me of those old Datsuns, that front end, especially from a distance. But truck doesn't get the generator. So sorry, truck guys, like you're shit out of luck on that one.
Which literally makes no sense.
Well, they got nowhere to put it.
You're gonna do truck stuff.
So you can't the SUV. The only way the SUV works, you throw the tire on the back of it, so there's no tire under it. This thing,
I thought they would do kind of what Ford's doing, and put the generator looking toolbox in the back.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, remember these are concepts, so we will definitely we're yet to be seen. Much like Bronco, I think pre-sales on this thing have went through the roof. Well, that says Harvester though on that truck, so maybe they're. I know I'm pretty sure on the reservations you could only do generators on the SUV right now, but they're showing it on the truck. The mood lighting, if that makes it into this for the back of that would be actually pretty handy. I do like the tie downs, how they're built into the truck. And it looks like the bed of this thing actually looks like a usable truck. And I haven't seen too many people talk about this. I'm assuming I have the picture up, by the way. The window rolls down.
Oh,
Really?
Toyota
Oh, yeah.
fanboys. That's a big thing on the Tundra.
Oh yeah,
The
that
full
fold
window
down.
goes down.
Yeah. I mean, the
So-
Broncos used to do it too.
Yeah, so that would be pretty rad if that does. And why somebody else hasn't done that, I do not know. But kind of happy that they're I think they've really paid attention to what the market wants with these things. These tie down points, if I could say it right, there's no way these make it to market. There's no way that those look total concept to me. The bumpers and everything look really concept. I'm not sold on the back, and I'll bring it back in just a second. The full mood lighting that's in the back on the tailgate, I don't know about. Smart here with the footrest being able to get in the back of it, and the handle. I thought they did a really good job of incorporating a
nice.
handle
Yeah.
into it. Looks like it's just part of the design, but you can see the rough areas there, so you can grab it. Good job on that. The wheels, I mean, I would say these wheels are ready to go. I'm very excited by that, and I love the flat paint. Me and Kelly did that video on the GV90 this past week. We dropped that, and I love that flat paint is coming to the lower middle class cars. It used to be like your Lamborghinis and stuff were the only ones that were going to touch flat paint because, for one, it's a nightmare to do, and it's a nightmare to repair if you ever have to repair it. But that flat paint there looks pretty good. I love that color as well.
they don't look bad on either of the vehicles.
Yeah, definitely. They talk about it in the press release. They definitely played into the heritage colors that they had. There is the back. So this is the lights I was talking about. Do y'all think there's no way that is going to make it to market, right?
No, I bet you it does, because they're selling that kit aftermarket right now for 90% of trucks. Like, that's a huge thing for the back end of trucks right now, and Jeeps.
Yeah, but
Like-
how is it legal?
Yeah, that was my thought. Like, it's way too many lights.
DOT,
mean-
I would think. I mean, it can't be bright, obviously.
I was about to say
Right.
it has to be dull, but I could see him doing it.
I know taillights by law have to be a certain size, but with LED now, I don't know if that's changed with LED lights being so bright in such a small package. But they used to have so many square inches of actual light, surface light there. So I do love a couple things about this design. I love how they've played this lines going straight into the body, and they do it in the front as well. So you get your running lights on the side of it that just blend right into the body. That's pretty cool. Looks like Scout's going to glow in the back, just like
But it
that.
could be, like the dull light, it's a brake package, so it only comes on when you hit the brakes or whatever the case is. But I bet you the Scout lights up red, like the front end lights up white.
Yeah. You think that the generator? I mean, because they can't where do you put a spare tire into this thing? So that, I mean, that if
I mean,
this
it
is
could be the
truly a
spare with
harvester
cover.
Yeah. I mean, that could be as well, but it did show a harvester
Right.
logo. I think, here's once again, you can see how the lights just blend right into the body. I love that. That's good design. That harkens back to, I remember the days of the Detroit Auto Show meaning something. And you used to see these concept cars and you were like, holy shit, if they would just build this, people would love it. And they never would build it. So I do hope some of this stuff is not just for show. And I do hope that, I will be at the Detroit Auto Show. I'm hoping that we'll see this there. I would presume we'll see this there. I don't know. You think we might see it at SEMA? I haven't read any of the list of companies that'll actually be at SEMA this year, but that would be really cool if we got to see it at SEMA.
I had skimmed it a little bit. I don't remember seeing Scout, but maybe Volkswagen is there. But I mean, timing of it, you think they squeeze out the announcement just in time to have it out there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Hopefully, I want to touch one.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope it's at the car show in January.
I definitely think they'll be at the car show in January. I mean, that's going to be, hopefully the auto show comes back to what it was for Detroit, for one thing. I'm so excited for my first Detroit Auto Show to actually be what it was supposed to be, not this summertime.
You haven't been up to one yet?
No, because when I got deep into this, they kept changing the damn date. So the
Yeah, it was always in the winter. We used to go every year. I'm from the Detroit area for anybody that doesn't know. But it was the thing. Like you trudge down to Joe Louis Arena. No, it was a Cobo at Cobo Hall. And it was always snowing and super shitty. And we're like, it doesn't matter. We're going to the auto show.
It's always
And
the
you get in
worst
there,
weather.
Yeah, the worst weather. But you walk in and it's like, even as a teenage girl who wasn't really into cars, I was like, this is awesome. There was so much awesome stuff.
I have so
Like you
many
said, Dave,
pictures
like all of it.
from like my high school years of like me at the auto show, like jumping in all of the cars, like joking with my dad, like this is gonna be my next car. At the time, I mean, now I would kill for those prices of like what they used to be.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean it's $22,000?
I remember buying my Honda Element in 6, and at 18, I was like, holy shit, $18,000. That's a lot of money for an SUV. And now I like, yeah, there you don't touch anything. I remember the Nissan Frontiers and the mid-sized trucks at the time, 18. If you wanted the quad cab, 28, you'd move up to the nicer things. And now you can't touch them under 50. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
So for one thing, Tim Dodge says it's a lot different than Rivian. I do expect that, but there's definitely with the graphics package that we've seen for all the buttons and stuff, the very Rivian like in that. But that's not a bad thing. Trust me. I'm one of the actual Rivian fanboys. I just can't pay $90,000 for that truck. But then Mounts Metal was in here. Did y'all see where? Let's see if I can find old Nick's comment again.
That's the thing. They're starting these at 60. I don't see them staying at 60.
No, we're still 2 years away. I will say cobalt prices and lithium prices are coming down by a lot. They're about half the prices they were about 4 years ago. So that's a good sign for EVs. But it's still, it needs to come down about half again for the average American to be able to start affording these. And we do know, I don't want to be political in this, but we do know election, everybody's freaking out right now. One person gets in, certain prices change. The other person gets in, it could be housing changes for one, automotive on the other. So we'll see how that plays out as well. But Nicholas, who is with Mountains to Metal, who we salute you, sir, and say hello.
I just added him on Facebook. I didn't realize we were.
You're not friends with Nick?
Apparently not.
Jeez. But he says his generator is going to be with the truck. And I'm sorry if you've been commenting and I haven't seen it. It's because I have 15 different things on my screen in front of me right now. And it's not because I'm rude. It's because Kelly's not here to run this part of this. And we're still working out some bugs to this. But hopefully you guys will enjoy once we finish the new studio setup. Hopefully you will enjoy the more relaxed atmosphere. Let's see. Tell Kelly to get a nurse, David. Hey, no, trust me. I fed her tonight. I asked her before I came up here. I made sure she was very comfortable because I need Kelly for Vegas. I like Kelly. I have not mentally, when I do my trips, if I know Kelly's coming with me, mentally I zone out. I don't worry about the travel, and right or wrong, I just don't worry about that stuff because I know that Kelly I say she loves that part of it, but it's stressful. But she handles that part of everything we do. And so now I'm like, shit, please don't don't make me do this by myself.
Don't worry. I'll read the entire manual.
Thank you.
It's so weird.
Let's see. Andy says, when are you going to be in Vegas? Next, was it Monday through Thursday?
Fly in Monday night. We'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and then fly out Thursday afternoon.
So a week from right now.
Just enough for a good hangover. What is up, Valley Dude? Let's see here. Looking for other comments. And once again, I apologize. I'm not trying to be rude and miss people if you did have questions. And if you do have questions, go ahead and jump them back in. One major flaw to this whole Rivian plan has to be Volkswagen. The people that somehow accidentally, by the way, they accidentally have the Scout name. They they have an industrial side of Volkswagen, commercial side, and they bought international and whatever international was called now, but they bought all these names to this because they wanted the farm part of it and was like, oh shit, we have a Scout here. Lawyers are just going through all these names of like, because it's probably a list of 100 different companies this one subsidiary owned. And so they found out they wanted Scout. Now, Volkswagen dealers have been itching for a truck like crazy. We thought the Amarok was going to come to the United States, which, if you don't know, is in Europe, Australia, everywhere. That is one of the best trucks out there. Like, Volkswagen knows how to do off-road, believe it or not. They can build some kick-ass trucks. They're just like GM. We want to be EV, but yet our customers want to be gas. It's like, what do we do? But so they acquired the name, and then they start down this path. I said earlier, I think they lucked out by throwing a generator now that full EV is like not the thing to be. But now Volkswagen's in trouble. And kind of like their CEO the other day came out and said, we have 2 years before we go bankrupt. Now, they just did a $4 billion, I think with Rivian, it was a $4 billion buy-in. Like I said, at minimum, probably they're $8 million for Scout to get that up and running. And EVs lose money, so that's a whole nother thing. And they're in trouble. Now, they did partner with Ford for their new truck, the new Ranger. The T6 platform is the Volkswagen Amarok is going to be based around that, which we will not see in the United States. But Volkswagen here in the United States have been itching for a truck. And now, besides the fact that they're near bankruptcy, dealers have said, oh, you're going to do direct sales, which Scout wants to do, like Tesla. Oh, we're going to sue you now. And I'm not sure exactly how that works. I know.
I think they're still looking into it. Nothing's been officially filed.
Yeah, I know unions are watching this very closely as well. There was with the last round of Big Three, strike, definitely Ford CEO said, hey, if this keeps up, we will look to elsewhere to build vehicles that are less union friendly, which either means to the south or to Mexico, the very south. And now you've got, Volkswagen in trouble. Dealers are really pissed off. They love this product. They want to sell this product, but Volkswagen's committed to Scout and no dealers. They're going to have 25 direct, I guess, servicing centers.
Mm-hmm.
And past that, that's all they want. Now, Allie, you working for a dealer, I mean, is there pluses and minuses to not being a dealer? Can you say oil service department is where you guys make a good chunk of money? Maybe sales.
Because we all rely on each other.
Right.
Because so for sales, we obviously make the first sale in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
I know one person will take this literally. Most cases, your sales department is your first point of contact, and then they have to service that vehicle, so they go in our back. Well, what happens when you hit the deer? Well, then that's the body shop. Well, it's totaled, so therefore you're going back to sales, and it's an endless circle. And there's people who come in for service that haven't used us for sales that now do, and it's vice versa for all of the group. So just having one, it just kind of cuts out a lot of your repeats, and I don't know. I think it would be harder, honestly.
Yeah. Now Volkswagen Group, I said earlier, they're in trouble. Part of, I think, Volkswagen Group's troubles are they have too many high-end brands. They've got Audi. They've got Porsche, or however you want to say it. They've got Lamborghini. They've got Ducati for motorcycles. And then they only have a couple common people brands, Volkswagen being one of those. And I don't see Ducati, there's a reason all these have combined is because they fail on their own. So they need to be a part of a conglomerate to work. Audi, I remember as a kid, nobody thought of Audi. Nobody thought, I mean, the old Q4s and stuff they used to make were great cars, but the only time I can ever remember Audi is there was a, what's the Richard Pryor movie, Just Moving or whatever, where he's moving across country with his family. And I remember Dana Carvey's in this to drive his car across country. And Dana Carvey's got 40 personalities. But I remember as a kid seeing Richard Pryor had an Audi in this. And I was like, what the hell is this car? This makes no sense. But so Audi's now they're strictly EV or trying to be strictly EV. Lamborghini's starting to venture into EV, which we know loses money. Lamborghini's still not that's not a cash cow for them. Ducati is motorcycles. Some of the best motorcycles in the world is not profitable really. So Volkswagen, who's already struggling over there, they're a sinking ship with this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, and now you add Scout onto this nameplate, and you talk about, I won't say they're as bad as Stellantis as far as being a super turd, because I still think, unfortunately for Ram and Jeep, they're stuck in this super turd combo of a bunch of shitty companies together. But I don't
That's the
see that
thing,
with Volkswagen.
I think Stellantis is really in for it. Like, I really don't think Jeep and Ram are going to be a thing in the next couple years.
No, the worst. Well, I think they will be, but they'll just get sold off to somebody else. They're the only value in all that super turd company. But with Volkswagen,
I love that we just keep calling them super turds.
well, I've got friends in PR that I love with Stellantis that they're fighting their own battles right now within the company, because that company's out of money as well. And I love the Ram truck I have in my driveway in the past month that I've had it. Excellent. The Ram Rebel, man, that would be a top choice truck for me for people to buy. And the Wrangler's still a good product, but after that, whatever they make is awful. But back to Volkswagen, Lamborghini only survives because of Audi. They share a ton of tech. The V10s that they used to be they kept sharing all their tech back and forth. Volkswagen itself, can you name anything fun in that lineup right now? The Jetta is gone, really. They've got the ID4. I forget what it is, the ID6 or what. I don't know the brand enough, because
they have an SUV that my friend
the Tiguan
currently has.
Is it?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
pull their website up, because
it's like a bubble SUV. It's one of those bubble ones.
So it's called. I'm pretty sure it's called the Atlas, and she's had nothing but problems with that thing. And I want to say it was like a 21 or 20, something like that. And then my other friend just bought the 24 version of it, and I'm just like, don't do it. And it's been nothing but issues. I'm like, well, I tried warning you. It's just a total turd.
Yeah. I had a Jetta. I had a 97 Jetta that the transmission went out in it. I pulled it in my backyard, and I would have rather shot that car than let it go back to sell it to somebody else. It was a fun little car, but that's when they started sealing up transmissions where you couldn't check fluid. You couldn't do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to service it, it had to be at their dealership. Even a friend who worked for the dealership was like, I said, how do you check the transmission fluid in this thing? He goes, well, it depends on how it drips. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I don't understand that. So here is Volkswagen. And like I said, I haven't paid attention to this brand in a long time, but let's see what they actually build. So models. SUVs, all right. So there's the ID4. Not an ugly car to me, but this design for Volkswagen feels like it's been around for 15 years. Now it hasn't really, but I don't know. It feels very German, very bland, just like you get what we give you. That's it. Let's see here. Here's the Atlas, which I believe replaced the Tiguan, or they may still make it. I'm not sure. Nice. I've driven this. It's a nice SUV, but the interior is kind of boring. There is a Cross Sport. There's the Tiguan, which the Tiguan used to be really cool looking, and they've just, it looks like a minivan now. Can't say that's very exciting. Yeah, won't even go there. There's the Jetta, which Jetta was the heart and soul of this company for a long time, man. That was their bread and butter here in the United States. Nobody wants cars anymore. So, and there's another Jetta. Here's the ID7 electric. Let's see, the Golf R, which Golf R's, man. Mark, you were in Europe a little bit, right? I'm sure you've seen enough spunky little rabbits and Golf R's over there.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
Let's see, the GTI, and now this is the savior of the company.
What?
The ID Buzz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awful range on this thing. 250 miles of range for electric. That's now. And I bitch about the Canoe brand a lot, who we still haven't seen actually build one. They're like 220 somewhere range. I'm like, dude, if you're not 350, 400 miles of range anymore, forget it. And this thing, dead on arrival, I think. It looks cool. If they did a gas-powered version of this and the EV-powered version of this, they would sell a shit ton of gas-powered versions of this. But, you know, we live in an EV world. Looks the part. me and Kelly, I don't think I ever dropped a video. We saw it at the Chicago Auto Show, and it was awesome. You sit in this thing, really brings back a lot of cool vibes, but really nothing else. And that's the brand. And this brand now has to keep all those other brands alive, and then give Scout enough money to build something. And yeah, you talk about a company definitely in trouble. The Volkswagen.
And it reminds me of the Ford lineup, 20, 25 years ago, where Ford had Jaguar and Land Rover and, Lincoln still underneath them, and, Mercury, of course. But there was a couple other ones, and, what Ford got rid of all of them. They even, and I don't know if it's still that way, but they, Lincoln's its own motor company for a minute. Like, it's not even under Ford, but
Jaguar and Land Rover went to an Indian company. I forget, Takata or whatever they call it. And they were trying to give those away. For a lot of the thing in the late 90s or mid 90s to 2000s was all these companies would buy these companies and rape and pillage their tech and then do away with them. And that was like Lamborghini was sold to Chrysler in the late 80s, and that's all Chrysler wanted it for was their V10, V12 tech, which went into the Viper in the early 90s. And after they were done with it, they just pitched it aside.
They couldn't steal it, so they bought it.
Yeah, and Ford did the same thing with Jaguars. Never had a reliability. They're just some beautiful cars, but not reliable at all. So whatever they wanted Jaguar for, I have no idea. I do understand the Land Rover, Range Rover. I do understand that, which you can definitely in the Explorer now. If you look at the Explorer, you definitely see they pulled some design cues from when they owned that brand. I even think is it the Taurus or whatever the last generation Taurus was? I forget what brand they pillaged that from. Dodge did it with the what was the car they had in the mid 2000s for NASCAR? Stratus. The design of that was Lamborghini. Lamborghini was looking at doing an actual normal car, and so they just took that from Lamborghini and it's like, no, that's ours. And sold so yes, definitely. But now Land Rover, Range Rover, and all that are now with a company that actually that's their bread and butter. So I think they're safe now. But these other companies, it's a mess, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Like you said, if they're already, barely in the green and they're shelling out all this money to do brand new stuff, like how's that going to look?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I said this a few years ago on something that didn't get traction, but I said it then. I still think in 15 years, half these companies are gone. I really do. I think a lot of these European companies are gone. They don't actually want to build anything. Europe's much like America. They just want to consume. They don't actually want to make things. They want to send that off to China or wherever. And China, especially with the BYD vehicles they're building, all this EV stuff, they're just sitting there going, please fail, because the Chinese government will just fund as much as this as the companies need them to do it to make it a success. Yeah. And I'm happy to see there's some tariffs right now that are being put in place, and one president wants to really heavily say no to China. I don't know what the current administration's policy is with it. But if China gets a hold of all this, the big three are gone. I think Ford would be the last remaining survivor of all that. They would eat them alive. Volkswagen, all this are going to be gone. And then you're going to have companies that we all went, man, you remember when Lamborghini was a thing? Do you remember the Volkswagen Beetle? And my daughter's going to be like, never. Look, Grandpa, look, Pawpaw, you go back to the nursing home. This guy's talking crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking
about. Give it a couple more years, it's going to be like, you remember when cars had engines?
Yeah, exactly. Remember when there was just a generator?
This statement is 100% true.
Yeah, but EVs lose money. That's my only concern. Like, if battery tech has to be a fourth of the price it is now, stamping, that's the easy part.
I think that they're gonna learn from Ford's and Tesla and what's another one? I don't know. They're gonna learn from our mistakes. Mm-hmm. And correct. I'm not saying it's not going to be a money loser, because they definitely lose money going to like EV. But I think they are gonna learn from our mistakes big time.
Yeah.
Wait,
Let's
is
see.
Pontiac coming back?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, I want a Firebird.
Right. And YouTube Car Spotters Guide.
Super
Turd
Turd
is my
is
new one.
it for real.
He knows I love those weird super chats. Which I think I have there's a way to do goals now here on YouTube, and I made a simple goal. So I don't know if that puts us over the goal for the night or what for super chats, but thank you for that support. And speaking of support, I have to sell myself once. Patreon, go over to our All-Terrain Nation Patreon page. You're getting, Mark knows, Mark's a member of Patreon, and Mark's he wants membership here on YouTube as well. But Mark, you've seen it. You got to see a lot of stuff you haven't even seen here yet. Mark and them have seen. Yeah. I try to do some special stuff that way for Patreon and membership here on YouTube, $5 a month, plus whatever Apple does for their charge now. I try to do some behind the scenes stuff of that. So that, trust me, for our trips to Vegas, Patreon members and members here on YouTube have helped support that. So I say thank you. But let's see.
You mean I bought myself a drink for Vegas?
Oh.
Well, B Team, I'm sure I owe a drink or two. So I'm gonna have to repay B Team somehow for all that. Let's see.
So Dave, what was the reservation process like for the Scout? Like I've only ever reserved
silly easy. Here, I'll bring it up real quick. We can go through it real quick.
I can't wait till everyone complains that it's taking so long for these cars to get out.
Oh my God! So
hopefully we don't have a pandemic in the middle.
They up front said, you're looking at 2027. So if you reserve it now,
yep. Good luck.
You know right off the gate that you've got a minimum of 3 years to potentially wait.
Yeah, and
which I'm fine with.
I had a surprise. It was going to be 3 years.
Yeah, in 3 years, Dave will have 17 more cars. So,
Oh, for the record, Dave, I told Mark the other day that I'm pretty sure in the just over a year that I've known you and Kelly, you've had more cars than I've owned in my entire life.
Mostly thanks to Allie. Thanks, Allie.
So good job.
It's bad to know people in the industry like Allie who are like, hey, I can get you that. But you want to buy it? Come on, I can get you that. She's like my heroin dealer over there with Ford.
Whoa.
So reservation was super easy.
God damn, Kelly's gonna kick your ass.
I know. So you get 2 models, Traveler, Terra.
Kelly, help.
I literally, Kelly and Sydney came upstairs here and we went through this and I said, which one do we order? I normally I don't give anybody a choice. I just do what I do, steamroll through it. Kelly knows. And so I said, which one do you want? And Sydney she wanted the SUV. She's all about the SUV. I think Kelly honestly was leaning kind of to the truck. She never really said. But as you can see here, starting price, entry starting as low as $50,000 with available incentives. Retail price starting at $60,000. Initial target price production is targeted for 27. The truck is going to basically be $1,500 more, which it's weird. The math here doesn't math up because retail price $60,000, $51,000. I don't know if it's a weight deal of how those, like Allie said, there are state to state. Some of this varies as well. So I just literally Traveler, and it was like, this was the concern here, which one do I want, the electric or electric plus gas? Now, luckily, if it's much like the Ford option was when we ordered Broncos, they didn't hold you to whatever, because this is a lot like Bronco. They just sort of show you something and like you do a reservation. You don't know what you're reserving, but trim wise. So hopefully
right now you're reserving a piece of paper.
Yes, pretty much. You're giving them financing is what you're doing. You're giving them the ability to finish building these things. But I went full electric.
Just a GoFundMe.
It basically is. I mean,
it kind of is.
Tesla was real smart with this, and everybody else has followed along now. $100, I hate to say anymore, is not a lot of money. So it's pretty easy to go, I'll just throw $100 down with this. I have like 3 reservations on vehicles right now. So it's like every few months, I'm like, I got to reserve that one. And these companies never follow through with actually building these things. But so I did electric because I really do feel like I said earlier, I think electric will be the first out the door. And for what we do here on the channel, I want to experience the vehicle, and then I want to move on real quick. Especially with EVs depreciate really quickly. I do not want to hold on. I want to hold on to this vehicle for about 6 weeks, honestly, if I could, and then move on. I got to experience it. I got to freak out about where do I charge this damn thing, then move on. Well, because when we had the Nissan Ariya, was a nightmare far as charging. You drove across town, you kind of freaked out because I'm bad with my phone. If I see my phone getting at like 60%, I'm like, shit, I've got to charge it. Because I always free. I doomsday of like, I'm gonna need it. It's gonna somehow I'm gonna be stranded somewhere. I'm gonna need this, and this is my only communication with the world. And nobody lives far enough away from anything that I should ever panic like that. But I do that with EVs.
You've been to our house. You panic a little.
That is true. So literally, like here, you put in your card number, you put in all your information, and it was that easy.
That's it.
And I know a lot of people who are doing both of them because they just do not know what they want to do. And $200, it's refundable generally. I will say I haven't seen here where they've said it's refundable, but at the end of the day, the content I'll get out of this, if I break even, I'm good. If you guys were to reserve one, what would you do? Allie, I'm assuming SUV.
I would actually do the truck.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What about you two, Mark and Jess?
I think I would do the SUV.
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn. I like having a truck, but
I miss having a truck.
I'm not a huge fan of the look of the truck. As I've watched the videos and the when I watched the reveal and stuff like that, I just don't like some of the body lines in it. Some of it honestly gave me Honda Ridgeline vibes.
Really?
Yeah. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but
hey, wait a minute. I just sent my PR rep from Honda an email about trying to get a Ridgeline for review. So let's be a little kind
here.
here.
Here. They're great.
Ridgelines are the best. I can't wait to help you review one.
Honda's been very nice to me lately.
All right.
The more you know.
But yeah, I would probably wind up with the SUV as well.
Well, it feels like a Scout.
I just like. Yeah. And I can remember seeing Scouts when I was a kid, friends having them, so I would want that, like I did with the Bronco 2-door, like that nostalgia effect of it. I would want probably the SUV over the truck.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It's a vehicle purist.
Let's see.
Hey,
Joe says,
look, they're canceling everything in my Bronco. They're going to get rid of the 2-door. They're going to get rid of the 2.7, and they're gonna get rid of the Wild Track. Like, I've got like the golden egg down in the garage. Like, no more mileage, and that thing's gonna skyrocket in value one day.
That's
like
what
when I'm dead.
I told
you have a lot of
Allie
miles
the
on
other
it now,
day.
right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I said as soon as they announced, Allie had shared it with me that the Wild Track was going away, and I was like, oh, I'm now going to start referring to my Wild Track as limited edition.
The limited track. Info says, when am I going to get my canoe, dude? That's a whole. I need to do another video with those guys. That's a disaster of a startup company. I did find it interesting.
Their stock's at like what, 2 cents?
Oh, dude, I owned some of that stock a while back, and I sold it, broke even with what because they bought back stock. They compressed the stock. I forget what they call it when the company's like, because you got to be above $1 for the stock market to actually think you're legitimate. Yeah, and they were at 75 cents, 50 cents for a long time. So they give them like a year to get back up. So they not a split. They did a reverse split is what they did to bring their value back up. And yeah, it was $4 for a while. And I was like, maybe I should. Nah, don't do it. And yeah, now I haven't checked it lately, but it was hovering around $1 again, definitely. Which is a quirky van that I would have loved to own, by the way. Let's see here. I'm gonna go through there. Will the Raptor be gone? The Raptor will be way gone by 27. Somehow Allie or Alcione will end up with a lightly used Raptor, it seems like. Dude, I was zooming in that thing today, man. I sent Mark and him a picture, and I posted on my Facebook page took the top off. Perfect, beautiful 75-degree weather here in Tennessee. No humidity. Just the sun's blaring, felt great.
Oh my God, it's so cold in Michigan already.
Oh no, we're living the life right now. Right now.
We're living that life of like flu and allergies because it was like 60 the other day, and today it was 80, and then it's going to go back down to 60 at the end of the week. Like Tennessee doesn't know what to do.
Sorry, we're schizophrenic here in Tennessee.
Yeah, and we have zero rain. Oh, Dave,
But-
you got rain the other day. I saw it on the news.
Ish. Just enough to piss you off. Like, oh, now my car's all dirty because of the dirty rain.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, we
no.
washed cars the night before, and then it sprinkled just enough for him to be dirty again.
It rained in that guy's Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
We went to a breakfast little Bronco meetup the other day.
Oh yeah,
And,
did you? How was that?
It was okay. The owner of that restaurant owns a Bronco and likes bringing the community together. But they had another event at the same exact time.
Oops.
Dave, it would have been perfect for you guys because it was a softball fundraiser, girls softball for the local community. They were doing pancake breakfast and waitressing in the little restaurant.
But someone that had come in their Bronco took their front panels off, and it poured for like 9 minutes. And like we went inside and we found him. We're like, hey, and he's all like, he walked out and just looked at it and shook his head and went back inside. He's like, it's too late. Like,
It's already done.
and it hadn't rained in what, 26 days?
Yeah.
Like, so like, what was the threat that the one time you take your panels off that it's going to downpour inside of it? But no, it was it's a antique old store, and
Yeah, like a little general store. And
like their servingware they had gone to every grandmother in the community and took their old china. Like none of it matches. It's all
amazing.
old plates and cups. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's fantastic.
Al, you would
Food was
love.
great.
Mark and Jess took us to a restaurant in downtown Clarksville that you would love. What is that place called?
It's called
Ford Garage. No,
Yeah. It's called the Shelby Trio.
Shelby. Sure, that's it.
There's actually 3 different restaurants, but like the one on the main floor, there's like a GT and a Shell. I don't know. There's some.
Yeah, in
old
the restaurant
Fords.
they have cars. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then the second level is like a tapas restaurant or something. And then the third level is like a rooftop bar, and it's like in the middle of nowhere corner of the edge of downtown Clarksville.
They built it
Next to the arena.
Ford built an ice arena here. It's one of the Nashville Predators practice rinks, but it's Ford Ice. It's Ford branded. It's the Ford Ice Arena, and then the Shelby Trio restaurant next door.
Hey, the next time Disney on Ice is there, let me know.
Well,
Absolutely.
They have the
it's
wrestling
so
all the
funny
time.
that you say that because Bill Ford, like a lot of the Ford family loves hockey, and they have like a league, and one of my customers like played with him all the time. So like, let alone that's like your boss of like the entire like brand, and you're just playing hockey with him on a Thursday night. Like,
Think you
all the
check him
time,
into the wall?
right? Be like, where's my budget cut now? Check him.
You thought you were getting a raise. Valley Dude says he's thinking about putting a reservation in for the Scout SUV. And I know Peugeot was like, why not? What's the worst thing can happen? And I agree, except now, if you do it now, like, don't expect it till 28, it seems like. I don't think they probably took the amount of reservations probably Bronco did. Bronco was the perfect storm, perfect time. Everybody sat at home, couldn't leave their house. $100 was easy to come by. We all had the free government money that you could just go, oh shit, let's just do that. Scout, I don't think is going to do that, but I bet money they probably have 50 to 80,000 reservations.
I mean, just in the like Bronco Instagram community that, you know, we're part of, I saw, I think yours and 3 or 4. You said you saw a bunch. There was.
I saw
Bronco
a dozen Scout posts across all the Bronco groups and communities and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them that like made the comment be like, we reserved one, but we're still keeping our Bronco.
Yeah, no, like I know Allie's told Kelly, you guys always have to have a Bronco. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I just like that platform for off-roading, but I'm going to have to, you know, taste the waters of cross town there. Right. You know, I got to go to that pub and see how their beer is.
I think part of the reservation holdback for some people is the pure EV. You
Yeah.
know, I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that,
So do
as
I.
much as they want the Scout, won't bite off on it because they're scared of,
because it's an EV.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, I've seen everybody I've seen though, with the Harvester edition, they all say I want the generator version of
Yep.
that. In Peugeot,
If I was to get one, I'd absolutely get the Harvester. So
yeah. In Peugeot says he got zero government money. Well, I think you were working for the government at the time, so you probably did get some government money. Just didn't get that extra. What was it, 1,700 or something silly we got during COVID?
Are you shitting me?
What?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get that much. I don't have kids.
I don't know what it was. It was something that, yeah. Well, you know, much like Hawaii, that $700.
I mean, I was only off for like 3 weeks, but I only got like $300.
I was never off. I didn't miss a day.
I was
And then
never
don't
off.
come in the office with a
as a day
cough.
work.
Nope.
And I work retail on the storefront. I mean, and I was every day at work.
So sales got laid off. So basically, we all got called into our body shop, and our GM was like, "Body shop and service, you guys are working. Sales, you can go anywhere but here." And like we were told, we had to like pack up and leave.
Yeah. Hey, body shop.
Cool.
Oh, I know you're breathing in all this sanded material and all this paint fumes and stuff, but let's not get you sick. Let's not worry about that. Valley News, Scout Monday Night Talks coming. No, this is the show. This is the plan for when I started noticing Bronco, and that's why you're going to see a different studio popping up. So I have 3 work areas now in the studio here. You're going to see the old stand up where I used to stand up and talk. You're going to see that come back. You're going to see my building prices be at the desk. And then we're going to have this relaxed area when Kelly's here. We'll be zoomed out. I have a lot of stuff coming for this. But the plan was always to, once Bronco, I started seeing Bronco talk kind of like people got them. They were not bored with the talk, but there wasn't that excitement for it. The plan was to always do what we're doing now. It was to slowly, that's why we did Ford Talk. If you notice, it was for exactly 1 year that I did Ford Talk, was to slowly transition everybody to let's talk about everything. I love cars. I trust me, the Ford products that I'm buying in my driveway, I love that Ford product, but at some point we have to talk everything. So no, this will not be a dedicated Scout only, because I can only imagine the 50,000 they're buying those. that's not enough to feed the old family over here. And plus, I mean, seriously, I know Allie's over there. She hit me up one time and goes, "I only know Ford products. What do you want me to talk about?" I'm like, but I like the point of view of Allie only knowing Ford or wanting to sell that. When I throw a Scout at you or something, I kind of like.
But I've been watching. Okay, Scout doesn't count because I've been watching that for a long time.
Right. But I like throwing different things at you and you giving me a different perspective than just somebody that's a fanboy of it. You know, we all of us here came from being fanboys of the Bronco.
POS.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and you know, some of it you can always, like Laura in the chat with Alcione Ford. There's only Ford. There's nothing else. I've already seen her in the comments. Ford is the best. I agree. And by the way, Mark, she sold your Raptor that you were trying to buy from her.
I saw it went off to Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I saw that. I pointed out to Jess, and whoever bought it got a heck of a deal because they dropped it even more. But
I know. Trust me. If I would have waited another month,
because I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's less than what Dave paid.
Yeah. And it's going to be fun waiting for new cars. No, that's part of the fun of these live streams is the waiting, man. You like a lot of you guys became family to us because of the waiting for Broncos. And I was lucky to have a few inside sources with Ford for some of that stuff. And trust me, I'm working Scout. Trust me. I know people in South Carolina over at the plant. So we'll get some inside stuff.
Dave's Ranger. Someone test drove Bucky today.
Uh-oh. What?
Oh, no.
How did you feel about that?
I was so sad.
So wait, did you leave the Bronco Nation thing on the front of Bucky?
It's not coming off. Yeah.
Really? Why did you leave that on there?
It won't come off.
Oh.
Well, you have to take the grill off and like saw off the screws.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it to
it's all
keep
rusted on there.
that grill and just buy a new one.
No.
Not from Ford parts. I'm saying from IAG or somebody.
AG has great grills.
True.
Oh,
I
I
got
know,
one on the
they
front of
have
mine.
great
It's
grills.
fantastic.
I already told Adam, I'm like, wait till Supercell. My new Bronco's gonna get a whole makeover.
You're just gonna leave it up there for 3 days while they refit everything.
Yeah, basically. Be like, here are the keys. Let me know when it's done.
Oh, yeah. No, they should do. I often thought why they don't do some sort of showcase. I know there's a lot of things they don't want to install because of it's just time consuming, but it seems like they could have a hey, at one, we're going to show how we install the air pump or whatever. Have one person's vehicle who's not going to bitch about like, hey, my vehicle's you're taking too long.
Yeah.
But I would throw the old Bronco.
No.
Sorry, Jess, you don't know Rick anymore.
Pick me.
Uh-oh.
No more grill sales.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
God dang it, Ford.
Sorry, guys.
Hey.
Well, there you go. Now you have a limited edition
Now I have a
grill.
limited edition grill on my limited edition engine, limited edition two-door.
Well, whoever
edition
buys
Wildtrak.
Rebecca has a limited edition, not really Raptor grill.
Oh,
I am
geez.
amazed at all these companies that have the aftermarket, the Chinese made grills, how they've just been able to continue to. I love they just misspell Bronco. They just move some letters around and you're like, no,
Corn
that
cob.
only works for so long.
Corn cob.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I can't find a lot of those stickers anymore.
No.
What stickers?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Corn cob.
Did they say
Oh.
corn cob?
Yeah. So they're like, oh, do you want the colored letters for the front of your Bronco, the laminate overlay stuff?
Mhm.
But they couldn't write Bronco there, so they rearranged it and spelled like corn cob.
That's funny.
But so they at least have the letters. You
Wow.
okay? Maya.
This is a bummer because I will say like retail version of those grills are stupid expensive because insurance will pay for that for accidents. You know,
Mhm.
suddenly that $20 or whatever the $50 grill for my AG is now $800 because insurance was willing to pay for it. But I kind of like that there were some aftermarket people that were willing to
Shit.
make them
That
cheaper.
bums me out.
Well, I'm sure IAG has a few that might disappear.
Okay. Yeah.
Have to
Rumesh
talk
should
to
have jumped.
Rick. Oh wait, Rick's not there anymore.
Oh.
Too soon, man. Too
Too
soon.
soon, Rick. Sorry, Rick.
Y'all need to talk to Adam.
Hey, Hypermotive, tell JJ I messaged JJ the other day about something and he didn't respond. So,
JJ takes a few days to answer.
well, this has been a few weeks.
Oh.
He was on vacation, I think, again he was I forget. He was somewhere in Europe or somewhere.
He travels so much too.
Well, yeah, you gotta keep moving these grills around. Shit, they found us in China, boys. Go to Taiwan. Like the
For
two
real.
boys with grills over here. Wait,
Dave.
Dang
pulling
it.
it up too. Yeah,
Mhm.
Dave, who? Sorry, geez, I. Anyways, we were in talks at one point them sponsoring the show. So, they were trying to license but denied, which is weird.
Yeah, and
Like-
some of the companies that Ford licenses, like Putco and stuff like that, like IAG's got such a larger selection of product.
Yeah.
Like
Quality product.
quality
The one that
product
they
and stuff
go
like
after really is the Etsy people with stickers. Like they nail those guys. Like I was looking, the one thing about our black Raptor, the problem I'm having with is you can't see the Ford on the front of it because it's so black. Like I'll try to do a photo of it. I'm like, well, that just looks like a big black something of nothing out front. It blends in with the vehicle too much. So I was looking at those outlines for the FORD, the big Raptor Ford. And I'm like, and the one I found is like, we're Ford licensed. And it's like, yeah, because you're $150 for a fucking vinyl graphic that I wouldn't pay $20 for.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ford. I know Bronco Battalion, she tried to get a lot of stuff licensed through them. You have to send product to them. They review it and everything. She's been denied.
I will say, like, even some of the Bronco Nation stuff, like, they have to go through the process, and that's why it takes so long for them to get merged, because it takes forever to get approval.
Yeah, 15 lawyers got to look at it. They debate it. Then it goes through probably another 15 committee of lawyers. And then, yeah, no, it's a nightmare. Let's see. Got time for a couple more questions or comments. And we will wrap this one up. I do clearly we miss Kelly. So we will see. Mark Jess, I'm gonna try to do a Monday night show out in Vegas. So somehow we'll have to figure that one out.
You'll be on a plane.
Yeah.
Justin, Mark, maybe do the time next week might be a little wonky, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna do some fun stuff from SEMA as well. I can't.
So we always end up doing
guys
lives from any of the shows and stuff like that as we walk around. And
yeah, I cannot wait to see you guys at SEMA. We're gonna have to go get our press attire, which is a nightmare. But usually I see some press friends up there. Yeah, no, it's like SEMA. As many people as you'll see there that don't belong there, to get those passes, it's a nightmare. It is like you got to go through the middle of the convention center where they have their press area. Hey, they usually have donuts though. So
good.
That's a plus. But I had somebody tell me one time, "Oh, you shouldn't you shouldn't go as press. You should do as an influencer." And I was like, "Fuck off, man." That person especially.
Those are like death words to like Dave.
I don't. So I insulted my local press association, or not my local one, the Texas Writers Association I'm with. I'm a part of the board for them, and written word is dying. Nobody wants to do that. It's turned into the visual stuff like we do, which is now turning into TikTok. Like all these manufacturers want TikTok people. They don't want video journalists. They don't want anything like this, which is weird because I've been invited to some of this stuff and they'll pay for these Instagram people to come in, even though most of them lie about their subscribers. I know one that says he's got 200,000 subscribers. I looked through their subscribers. They're all Indonesian subscribers, which is very strange. I guess when you buy them, but Ford and a lot of these people don't care. They just see a number. It looks good to them. So
not vetting any of that.
We were having, as a board with the Texas Auto Writers, we were having a debate of like, hey, we need to start inviting some of these influencers, which vein of my existence. I don't mind influencers if you know your role, but most of them are Allie, I know you were at the Bronco event and there was a lot of them there. As long as you know your place in the scheme of things, I'm fine with. But when they think they're the only show in town and they take up any opportunity to film or do anything so they can change clothes or do whatever they fucking have to do, pisses me off to no end. But yeah, so all the press association now are trying to invite TikTokers to be a part of this. And I'm like, I told my board the other day, I was like, I'm out. I have no time to be a part of that. I've worked hard.
Yeah, they recognize that the American attention span is measured in seconds, and not minutes. So, that's what they got, and they've got, I've got a bunch of followers, and those guys specialize in making those large, big screen, quick TikToks that catch someone's attention that will hit a link and get more, tags out there. So, Hypermotive.
If you are going to be out there, let's do dinner.
Yeah, seriously, let's have drinks.
Hey, y'all text me on Facebook or something. Or email allterrainnationmedia@gmail.com. Let's hook up. I want to do dinner, hang out.
Because he'll be sick of us after Tuesday afternoon. So
you got to find your new Rick. You gotta find the new Rick.
Stop it.
Be an influencer, Dave. Shots fired. No, I saw that particular influencer that I met in SEMA the other day, and somebody drove from Ohio to get some parts installed by this influencer, and I was just like, fuck off, man. Like, sorry, Kelly's not here, so my filter is a little there's nobody to kick me right now. And yeah, I'm like, Christ, man. Like, I'm gonna start an off-road company too of selling Chinese parts. I wonder what that person's doing now if they can't sell grills. They're effed.
Can we not talk about her?
Beginning of the conversation, we are super excited about SEMA.
I love Jess. Jess has turned into the Kelly. Let me guide us back into
focus. And we appreciate the opportunity to not only go experience it as car dudes, because we're kind of car dudes.
You're a dude?
Yeah, you've met me.
Hello.
Yeah, and it's like it's gonna be fun. But I feel like you're gonna make us work really hard, Dave. So I'm ready for it.
Maybe you'll get a $75 buffet out of me.
Oof.
Don't even get me started.
Sorry. So we'll wrap this up, but we've been privately talking about, hey, and Jess is all excited about the buffets out there. I'm
Well,
like,
I was like, we got to do one Vegas buffet. It's not like I was like, every meal we're eating a buffet. I mean,
there's a lot of things in Vegas that I think of. Buffet is not like, there's a lot of things that are up here, and buffet is way down here for my scheme of things.
It's one of those like dumb stereotypical Vegas things, right? Like, and Mark's never been. He needs a Vegas buffet.
Yeah, but
I was gonna be fed. Like I don't stay. You got me running around all day. I need food.
Well, I'm thinking nice steak dinner. There's some nice steakhouses in Vegas. We could spend several $100s at easily. And Jess is buffet.
No. Okay, wait. Did I not tell you? Like, I have dinner reservations for the two of us, like Monday night. Like,
fuck you, damn it! What the hell? I'm gonna be flying in, and you're gonna be like, sorry, on the strip, eating a strip.
Did you want me to tell you where? I don't know if you'll know.
No, go ahead, Gord.
I made a
Ramsey or something
for us at Craft Steak, which is Tom Colicchio's restaurant. Who's
I don't know who it is.
You know?
Well, that was those guys.
Damn it!
I'm revoking those SEMA passes. You guys just flew out to Vegas to hang out in Vegas. No, seriously, that's awesome.
Out there Tim says meet up Tuesday night. So
okay, deal.
Well, Tim, I think you have my number. You know how to get a hold of me. Yeah, sorry, Tim. No, it's IAG only. I'm playing.
He's trying to hook up a brain deal.
Yeah. I was hoping to get Allie out in Vegas, but Allie keeps going to these Bronco off rodeos and doesn't have time for really fun events. Allie, you've never been that far west.
I've never been to SEMA.
Yeah, no, we'll have fun. Bring your walking shoes. It's a nightmare of it's hellish. By the end of what is it, Tuesday opening night, it's just you're just like, fuck, man, I don't want to walk anymore.
You know what? I'll take Wayne up on his offer. I'll see you guys on the 3rd.
But so yeah, I guess Jess, Wednesday night we have to do the damn. And Kelly's like, I don't really like seafood. What is there to a lot of?
No, don't worry about the buffet. It's just funny. I don't give a shit.
We're doing it for the gram. We're going to be influencers.
And really, if you want to go to the fancy steak place, we'll move it to a different night. I don't give a shit about that either.
No, clearly you do.
I want to sit in a slot machine and just be like one of the old ladies.
Oh yeah, we've been practicing. A lot of extra tapping.
I don't want to know about how y'all practice that.
Oh, here we go. That's it.
No, it is a little depressing. Some of the people you see, you're like, fuck, this is your whole life. Like just pushing this button.
Yeah, hypermotive. I had to take vacation off of work to go work for Dave at SEMA.
Same days.
Right? No, this is not a vacation. So part of Jess and them coming, Kelly was like, well, we have to do some Vegas things. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not a Vegas guy. Oh, we'll have fun together, no doubt. But I'm not that, hey, let's party afterwards. Like, no, the last time I tried to do that with somebody,
we know.
Anyways. So I don't have a great history with Vegas and hanging out with new friends. Luckily, we know.
Guys, I'm out.
No, but Mark, the cover band that we saw, they played Tool. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, and I would love to see that band again. No, we're gonna have fun. You know what the worst part is? F1 setting up. So the Vegas F1 race is in November, and they're setting up for that. So who knows how that affects us? Wait, off-road park.
What?
Wait,
I hear there's openings at IAG.
Yeah, what's going on at IAG? I'm really good at selling stuff.
He is.
Yep.
Sold me.
I'm really good at selling stuff.
I feel like I could take or leave Vegas, Dave. Like I could either like Vegas it out all the way, or I could be like, Vegas.
I think Jess, we're on the same page. Like I've never been there. The first time I went to Vegas was by myself. I was doing an overland trip. I stayed in Vegas just overnight, and I was so tired. There was a Game of Thrones slot machine. I was like $20 in it. I was on my way to get dinner and I was at the D, is the place in Old Vegas that I stayed at. It's a nice resort. And Old Vegas is fun. We have to go walk the whole lighted strip thing. It's fun. You see a lot of weird people there.
Yeah.
But so I threw my $20 in there, lost it really quickly. I was like, I've given Vegas the ransom it needs. So, and I ate my meal and went back to upstairs and fell asleep. But I think it would be fun. Definitely, I think we'll have fun. But I'm not that guy that like Vegas has never been on my shit. Let's go for the weekend, guys. Let's get a flight and just go to Vegas.
Yeah.
I know. Let me go to Utah or somewhere fun like that.
Yeah. I've been a handful of times. My mom sent me and my brother for my 21st birthday, which was really fun. But I've been there for conferences and trade shows in my real life job, and I've been there for like fun weekends and weddings and funerals, kind of all sorts of stuff. I went out and spent a few days out at Lake Las Vegas a couple of years ago, which was gorgeous. I did the Hoover Dam and all that stuff, and like never saw the strip. So yeah, it's kind of cool because like Vegas is everything you need in this tiny little space, and then you leave it and you're nowhere. But there's all sorts of other cool shit out there too.
Oh yeah, I drove from Vegas all the way to Telluride, Colorado. A lot of it off road. Oh my god, like that was amazing trip, just amazing. I remember our first night we camped out. We were in Utah still, and we camped out in some farm. Like there's so much BLM land out there, you can just I'm camping here. And it was dark by the time we got to where we were at. I remember seeing stars. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen stars like this. That's the cool thing about being way out there. The light pollution here in the East Coast is awful. But yeah, seeing it there was amazing. But yeah, that trip. But I was kind of happy when I found water, like running water again. That was like in a shower, a hot shower. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So for video guys says no live in Vegas, pre-recorded stream that week. You know what? See Tim's hairdo in this picture? We got to mess it up in Vegas. We got to get him a little wild. I want to see Wildcat Tim. I want to get
we should do like one of those classic, that Bradley Cooper selfie at the Oscars. We do that, but like on the tubes. Find Tim, as many people as we can.
Poor Tim has the hangover written all over him. Like he's going to be on the roof. We're going to be looking for Tim. Where did we lose Tim?
I messed up so bad.
Oh my God.
Yes, I do know about camping. I know about you guys running my stream for me. Let's see. Valley Dude. The D downtown is nice. I like the Golden Nugget. Yeah, no, like Vegas will be fun. It'll be fun. And we'll have the next. I'm sure we'll get Jess and Mark on there for the next live stream to discuss all the debauchery that was Vegas. Mostly car parts. Come on, it's a family show. It's car parts.
Yeah. The terrible car parts we see.
Yeah, but anyways. So guys, that was a show tonight. I think I've wasted an hour and 52 minutes of your life. I appreciate you for being on here for an hour and 52. The format, you're going to see this change. Trust me. Mark said, what are these white dots behind you before I started the show? I'm like, I had nothing better to do. We'll just throw some white dots there. This is where the shelf used to be that we had some stuff on. Kelly hates change, by the way. She's very poo-poo on what's going on up here. But we're going to have fun. And as always, you can reach us at allterrainnation at media@gmail.com. Instagram, I'm always on Instagram looking around. So if you want to reach out that way. Mark, Jess, what's your socials if they want to talk to you guys?
Unbridled Bronco.
Mine's wild at track. Yeah. Star Wars stuff.
If you need to buy a brand new Ford product, I'm sure Allie over there will definitely sell you that. It's what Allie at Allie Dubois.
Yeah, just Allie Dubois. Sorry.
Brighton Ford in Michigan. So if you definitely, I'm in Middle Tennessee and I buy all my Fords other than the Raptor. I bought all my Fords from Allie because it's worth the deal. Literally, it's worth for me to fly up there, the deals they give us. And it's not because we have a show. It's just because they want to move metal. Our friends over at Alcione Ford. Go check them out as well. Anything else, guys, you guys want to jabber about real quick?
And Tim Bart's.
Of course. Well, they know Tim. Tim's
Yeah, we know
Tim's
Tim.
the celebrity in
Yeah.
the chat.
He's kind of a big deal.
Right?
For real.
I'm going to
All
charge.
right.
Dave's going to charge a cover.
Probably.
Yeah, the casting couch, as Mark like to call it. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, it really doesn't matter what you drive. I guess I don't know. I'm too good whiskeys in. It's been your All Train Nation. I'm your Dave Boyd. We're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
Peace.